Buddy, I have to work. I have to. I'm sorry. I gotta work so you can have food.
Oh, great morning. I'm sorry.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing extremely well.
Awesome. Awesome. Oh, my junkie office.
I love that hair, girl.
Honey, it's swooped to the side today. It's a Friday. Ah, how are you?
I am doing well. How about yourself?
All is well. All is well. So awesome. I'm excited about this. We know each other's stories, so we understand how we can be off balance and it interfere with life, and not just our personal lives, but our business lives. You can only hide it for so far, so I'm up here fooling with my background. But I think I want to be at the beach. So yes.
Oh, I like that.
But yes, that's giving me my alarm. So it's time to start. It's 9 o'clock. And we're going to get started. And today we have a really good friend of mine on the call today, on the Zoom today. We're not calling, we're live. So we have Miss Angela Davis with us today. And this meeting today, in my opinion, means more to, well, it means more to me. I'm just going to talk about me and not our industry, but it means more to me than probably anything that that we do, because it's about us personally. And the better we are, the better we are to our clients and especially to our families. So I think that when we take time for self-care, and balance is a big word. Balance is like a huge word. And it has a lot of moving parts. There's no way we could tackle all of that today on one call. That's for sure. But we're going to talk about finding and maintaining an effective, productive work-life balance. And we have my good friend on the line with us, and Angela Davis. So Angela, tell us a little bit about you. And we're mostly real estate agents and brokers. And so our lives are super crazy, off the chain. Our phone rings, we stop, drop, and roll. So we got a kid on the hip and we on the phone, or a grandkid in my case. So it doesn't stop. And we want to get some tips from you and let you pick our brains today, hopefully.
Okay. My name is Angela Davis, and I am a certified grief counselor, but I'm also a certified professional life coach. I didn't throw that part in when I gave y'all my credentials, but you are really on it. And I was like, she's in my stuff. So I guess we're in sync today. But balance, like you said, I want to talk about balance. boundaries, and burnout. Those are the three biggies. Um, because what I mainly focus on is being balanced in every area. And when we're busy and we're working all the time, it's difficult to maintain that balance at times. But today I want to talk about how to find balance, and that ties in with exploring boundaries to avoid burnout. So remember those three B's. Balance is pretty much everything being in sync, being in alignment, your mind, your body, your finances, your spirit. All of that is a part of balance. And when we are going through our day to day activities, it's hard sometimes for us to find that balance. And balance is a part of self care. And when you are professional people, a lot of times we run around and we want to take care of everybody else, but we neglect to take care of ourselves. And in order to take care of others, you got to take care of you. That's the first thing. And to find the balance, your background is wonderful, and it's making me think about that's a good way for balance is to take a break. I know it's so busy during the day. Like you said, you're running, your phone's ringing. Me being self-employed as well, that phone just constantly rings. And there are days when you're going to be doing all the work. I'm sure you've got days where your assistant is not available. And so everything falls on you. So when you are the one that's got all the workload, it dumps on you. You have to figure out the best way to maintain balance. First of all, you got to find the balance. So once you find the balance, then you can maintain it. I'm going to give you an example, and maybe that'll kind of help you with figuring out the finding the balance thing. Let's say you've got 6 houses that you're showing, and you're going to show those 6 houses, and you've got it set up where you're going to show a house at 10, you're going to show a house at 11, you're going to show one at, at 12 to whatever. Space your schedule out so that you won't be doing everything back to back. And if you can space your schedule out, even if it's a 15 or 30-minute break in between your schedules, that gives you a little time to breathe before you have the next person that comes along. And once you get into a routine of that schedule, it'll just flow like clockwork. And take lunch. If you don't have a lunch break, slide one in there. Um, it's typically better to do a break at least every hour, hour and a half out of your day. And I know that's hard because if you've got back to back things to do, an hour break, well, not an hour break, but each hour you look at the clock and say, okay, I've been doing this for an hour. I need to take at least 10, 15 minutes and just take a breather and then get back to work. And then boundaries, because a lot of us have issues that we deal with. Like you said, we got work lives, we got home lives, you're juggling kids, grandkids, whatever the case is. So having the issues that you deal with from home, leave those on the opposite side of the door when you walk in, and your office, just deal with your office stuff. Unless it's an emergency type situation. For example, if someone has an emergency in the family, or one of your workers has something going on that's personal that just can't wait, is urgent, set aside time every day to deal with emergency situations. But other than that, set boundaries, not just for your workers, but set boundaries for yourself so that you won't be so overwhelmed with everybody else's situations and with your own personal situations that you burn yourself out. Because once you get to the phase of burnout, you're overwhelmed, you're drained, you're exhausted, and you don't have a desire to want to do your job. And I'm sure everybody loves what they do. Everybody has a passion for what they do. That's the reason why you're doing what you do. And how to maintain it, if something comes up and you have somebody that wants to constantly come to you on a daily basis and says, let me talk about my mother-in-law. I'm just going to throw that out there. Let me talk about my mother-in-law. Let me tell you about my mother-in-law. And then you say, every day you've been doing this, you've been listening to them talk about their mother-in-law. That sets you behind and you can't do the things that you need to do. So then you're in a hurry trying to do everything, and that causes stress and that causes burnout. So if you set those boundaries for yourself and say, we're not going to deal with this right now. We'll deal with this later. Today, we've got to do this, 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 and this, and set an agenda, even if it's tentative, but pretty much have a routine schedule and try to follow the routine as much as possible on a daily basis. And if you have to go for a little walk during your break, go sit in your car for a little bit. Those are things that will help you keep your emotions balanced, along with your physical health and your spiritual health, all of that. Meditating, eating a balanced lunch, or eating a little snack throughout the day. Make sure you stay hydrated. Those are things to make you stay in the habit of being balanced in your workplace. I know I'm covering a lot, so I apologize if I'm just rambling. I do these talks all the time, so I'm trying not to talk so much. Or
No, I'm taking notes, so you're doing
okay.
great.
And this is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I'm glad that you're asking me this for Mental Health Awareness Month. Emotional health is also important, not just your mental, because your mind and your emotions go hand in hand. So if you're mentally healthy, then you'll be emotionally healthy. And then you'll be physically healthy, because all of those things work together. If you're out of balance in one area, it'll set your whole workplace off course. So you have to try to, if you feel yourself getting off balance, you have to get back on track. And I wear many hats during the day, and people that come through the door, sometimes my secretary's out, so I'm the secretary, I'm the counselor, I'm the life coach, and I just bounce around. And then once I leave my job, I have to go to school, but school is out now. But I have to go to like the after school program and pick up, and then go home, cook, and then what I'm saying, you have so many different things. And so I have people that watch me, and that's the first thing that I wanted to address next. Is people watch how you maneuver throughout the day. So make sure that you don't allow the stressors that you have from your job or from your home life or any other area to bleed over into dealing with your clients, because they'll pick up on that vibe and on that energy. So you want to make sure that you don't allow them to see you off balance, even if you feel like you're off balance. Um, I have people tell me, "Well, you handle all your stuff well because you do so much and you just carry it well." That's the key, is to maintain it so that it looks good. Not just looks good on you, but it looks good around you. And everything is not in chaos and in disarray. Now, if y'all need me to stop, I'll stop. Take a breather or whatever.
We have an hour, but let me chime in because I think it's real important to put a face on what I do. And everything I do is for purpose, because now you threw one at me this morning. I had no idea. I was like, because I've suffered burnout. And when I was in it, I didn't know that's what it was. But once I was out, I was like, okay, what happened? Why did it happen? And how can I not go through that again? And that's how I came to the revelation. I received the revelation of what had happened to me. So we're in the region of the year where I've suffered some of the most traumatic losses of my life. Grandmother, brother, dad, stepdad. One of my closest friends lost her in May. So my godmother's birthday's in May and she's gone. So there's like some of the most traumatic times of my life happened in this region of the year. And so around this time, I have to stay super focused on caring for Sabrina. And I'm real strategic. And even like the jewelry that I wear, like copper jewelry, and the bracelets that I wear, and the oil bracelets that I wear, because I do essential oils. And talking about having a schedule, my 6-figure day, agents, I can't do my real estate life without my 6-figure day. So we know this works. So this works for when it comes to business. And then when it comes for Sabrina, I gotta have a planner. Like I have, if it's not on the plan, it's on the calendar. And Jessica, my assistant, she's on here, so she knows. My operations specialist, she's not my assistant. She's bigger than that. So, but she knows, like, this keeps me balanced, and I have to have a digital form of this so that she and I can communicate, because she doesn't know what I wrote in this. So we have to have a way that, so she knows what I got going on and what she needs to know about helping me, so it can help her balance her schedule and her life, because we work from home and I help with my grandkids. I'm a wife, I'm a mom. You never stop being mom. I don't care if your kids are, in their 30s, it doesn't matter. You're still mom, and they expect you to answer when they call with whatever their ER call is. And even though I do have my phone on do not disturb for sometimes during the day when I'm having to work on some things that I don't want to be disturbed, that doesn't mean that my kids and Jessica and even like Jenny and some people, they can't get to me. Agents that I mentor, they can still, they can get through that, but so if they're calling me, if it's not an emergency, I may be like, I'm in the middle of so-and-so, let me call you back, or can I call you back? But having that is imperative. So the other thing is, I wake up early. Like, it's nothing for me. It's my life. No matter where I am, whether I'm on that beach back there or I'm in my bed in Leeds, Alabama, I'm up, I'm awake around the end of the 3 o'clock hour, the beginning of the 4 o'clock hour, every single day. Now, I may not get out of the bed, but I'm awake and I am going through my routine for the day. Whether it's some reflecting time, like what I still have to do, whether it's meditation time, whether it's Bible time, or whether it's just, I don't want to leave this bed today, Lord, but I know I have this to take care of. So I'm awake early. I truly believe that the early bird gets the worm, and I wake up early so that I can take care of me. I don't ever jump up out the bed. I got to be there at 8 o'clock, and I'm jumping out of the bed at 7 o'clock, and I haven't ever consciously thought about what I have to do today or what I need to do to take care of whoever that is at 8 o'clock that I'm meeting with or talking to, or what. I don't do that. I did, and it was disastrous because somebody's going to call you with their 911, and it's going to throw everything off, and it's going to have you all irritated and frustrated, and you can't help people when you're not whole. You know, my grandmother told me this years ago when I was just like, I would say when my granddaddy was about to come home or come home, I would say, your better half is here. You know, a kid, you repeating what you've heard. Your better half is here, Graham. And she told me one day, she said, we're not halves. She said, because two halves can't make a whole. She was like, you both have to be whole. She was like, I'm whole, and he a work in progress. You know, it was a funny, you know, but the whole thing is you can't be half. I can't be half of Sabrina and help anybody. I've got to be whole, and I can't help anybody else if I'm not well. And so me being a caregiver for parents and grandparents, that's another dynamic to add. You know, you got to take care of yourself. You may have a spouse or a partner, or you may be dating. Thank God I'm not doing that. And today, whoo, I have some friends that are, and I'd be like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm praying for you, bless your heart. You know, but you know, you a partner, or you're married, or you're dating, you know, kids, and then they have relationships. And you become, you know, moms or extended moms, or, you know, at least close in some capacity to their significant others or their friends or their circles. You know, that's a whole nother dynamic, and can get complicated. You know, I had to tell one of my kids that I'm not gonna cut them off because y'all got something going on. You brought them into my life, and I care about them, and I can't drop them, you know. So that brings on, you know, you're not being loyal to me, you know. That's something else you have to work through. They get it now, of course, because I'm the kind of person that's going to help you get it, you know. But that's another dynamic. Then you have grandkids, they have friends, you know. They want to bring somebody over, or they want to come over when someone's there. I'm extremely close with my nieces and my nephews, and now some of them have kids. They have relationships. Y'all, this thing just keeps growing and going and going. Like most people, I'm extremely close with, you know, my aunts and uncles and first cousins, and they have kids. They have relationships, y'all. Then we've got the church. We've got our church family and friends, and those that you're in ministry with. Angie's in ministry. I'm in ministry. Jessica's extremely spiritual. She's extremely spiritual. I want someone to pray with me. I'm going to, you know, reach out to her and maybe send her a text almost immediately, you know, link your prayer with me on whatever. So we have that whole dynamic. Working from home, y'all. Everybody go, I want to work from home. I want to work from home. No, you don't. Yes, you do. No, you don't. Yes, you do. No, you don't. It's just like that. You know, it may be great on Monday. And it may be great on Tuesday, but at some point, you know, our adult kids have keys. So I could be in the office and here they come. You know, I mean, you know, like, and I'm home, husband's home. He's like, can you go do this? Can you, and I'm like, don't you see I'm on the phone like with a client? Like, what? No, not now. Make an appointment, call Jessica.
There you go.
And Jessica, she took a great picture of us last week. I had my grandson on my lap, and we were working on Zoom, and she had her son in her lap, and it was hilarious. I sent the picture to my kids. They was like, oh, look at y'all, so cute. And I'm like, I mean, what we were working on took us 2 hours and we could have done it in 10 minutes, but it was like, hold on, gotta change the diaper. Okay, hold on, gotta go get a snack. Like, wait, hold on, I gotta go. It's just, y'all, again, sometimes balance is not easy, but it's necessary. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was you said something that Jessica and I have been working on this meals.
Oh
So
my
when
goodness.
you working outside of the home, you're going to either have a lunch plan or you're going to take your lunch, right? And so I know that my husband works right here in Leeds, and so I hear their lunch horn go off sometimes, and I'll be like, oh, it's lunchtime, you know, because sometimes you don't even think about eating. And
Yes.
then when you do think about it, you're probably starving. And then what if you don't have anything that's really a good option for you that's readily available for you to eat while you're home? What do? Well, Sabrina gets in the car and goes to Chick-fil-A and gets a French fry. You know, I mean, I'm telling the truth. Or I go to Bullets and get a coffee. I mean, sometimes that is actually lunch. Like, I just want a coffee. So I hop in the car and I go get a coffee. And then if I have a lunch date, I probably did not plan effectively to maybe have me a little bit of a snack or something before I go out. So I overeat when I do that. Then I'm sluggish when I get back. So y'all, it's imperative that we think about planning some meals and some snacks. So my daughter, for the last 3 weeks, she's been doing meals for me. So I have some food that I can eat, y'all. It's amazing. I'm like, man, I should have been doing this. And I actually feel lighter. I don't know that I am because I don't get on the scale like that, but I actually feel lighter. My clothes feel better. So it's probably because I hadn't had 4 French fries a week in 3 weeks, because that's what I was doing. And so the other thing I want to say, and I'm going to let Angela jump back in and finish up. And if anybody else has some questions, you can ask, or you can chime in on something that you're doing, is boundaries. Like, if we don't tell or show or both others how to treat us, then they can mishandle us. And then we get mad, but it's not going to help anything because we didn't give them the options. We didn't give them the roadmap on how to handle us. So I'm not saying it's your fault, but I'm saying it's your fault because you have to have boundaries and show people and teach them how to treat you and how to handle you. And it is absolutely essential. There's no other way around it. And so I do want to say that, I mean, you're spot on. I was just like finding and maintaining balance, but in order to do that, you've got to have boundaries, and these things will help you prevent burnout, which, y'all, is not, it's extremely painful. And it feels like a severe depression. You are immobilized, like you cannot move, you cannot get it together, and you don't have a clue why. It's not that you don't have the desire to do it, it's like not possible. Like you cannot do it, like you cannot move. It's paralyzing. And it is not a fun place. And then people are looking like, I didn't know something was wrong. You're not okay? Like, I didn't know. Because it has a different face to it. And I felt like I was dying. Like, I physically felt like I was dying, because like my body just like was slowly shutting down, like just coming to a halt. Like it was not possible for me to do daily activities, self-care activities, take care of myself or anybody else. And I had a preteen child, and she was just like, what is wrong with you? You're gonna have me late for school. You need to get up. I mean, so, so I mean, she didn't understand at all, because all she knew was, you did all this stuff with my siblings, and I don't know what's wrong with you, but you need to get up. I'm gonna be late for school. And that was like our morning, like every morning, and then me crying all the way back home. So, but yeah, that's my 2 cents, or maybe 10 cents, because y'all know I talk.
No, I love it. I was like, let me just stop, because I'll go in and just keep going too.
We got
But
time. Go in. Jessica, I would love to hear from you, because Jessica's a business owner, stay-at-home mom, work from home mom. She's got a farm that they're starting from just the ground, and she's the neighborhood hotspot for her kids' friends. And it's so weird, because her kids are small, and sometimes she's got these preteen kids that are coming over to to hang out. She's that mom. And some cats found them, and she's been taking care of them, and kittens and everything. So Jessica, I'd love to hear from you, and it doesn't matter that Ian's in the background talking too. So I'd love to hear from you. What do you need, and what are some things that you're doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Good, now I can hear you. It cut out for a minute there. Sorry. I knew you were saying my name, and then it like cut out.
Good morning, Jessica.
Morning, Angela. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. What was it you were saying, Sabrina? I'm sorry, I missed the last part.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying, I would love to hear from you, and I think some listeners would too, about how you handle, owning a business, working from home, slash at home mom with 2 young children, and starting a farm, and being a pet mom, and neighborhood hangout. I'd love to hear what you need and how you're handling everything that you have going on too.
Oh Lord, well, I was just sitting here thinking I need to pay Angela to help me get out of off balance. It is a struggle a good portion of the time, and it is hard to find balance when I don't have any help with the kids ever. So it's a 24/7 job with them on top of everything else. So it is very hard to carve out time just for me. Like the other day, we were out of cat food, and I told my husband, I said, I need to go to the dollar store to get some cat food. He's like, I'll go get it. I said, no, I need to go to the dollar store.
There you go.
So that was my me time, but just that little, stepping away from everything and just going down the aisles of the dollar store alone was like, wow, I can breathe, and I am me for just a minute, not just mom and wife and everything else. But yeah, it's very hard to find a balance, and then trying to schedule everything is also hard, trying not to overlap things and make sure I'm taking care of everything. It's difficult. You have any that?
It's very difficult. And when you were talking, I was thinking about how I found that balance, and how my clients that I see, they'll say, well, how did you do this? How did you do this? And but I had to do it. And then they say, well, do you feel guilty when you ignore somebody's phone call? No, I don't. But you have to eventually get to that place where you're not going to allow someone else to consume you because you're juggling so much during the day. And then when you've got other people, like what Sabrina was saying, coming at you with their stuff, it's just hard to juggle it all.
Mhm.
And you have to figure out a time in the schedule where you're going to allow people to do that, because it will drain you and overwhelm you and burn you out. And when you have little ones and and things like that, it gets, it's a lot. And so when I get off my job every day, I'll go back to how I found the balance. But I used to be so out of balance at my office, y'all. It was just ridiculous. Because I had a secretary, and then the secretary that I had, she would come, but then she would wait, and I didn't know she was doing this, but she was hired through another agency. And so she would wait until I disappear because I'm out and about a lot. And once I would leave, then she would leave.
Oh,
Yeah, and she would go home, and I was like, and so the people that was next door to me finally said to me one day after I fired her or whatever, they were like, "Oh, we could have been told you she wasn't here." But y'all didn't tell me. And so I ended up being everything all over again. And so when people would come through my door, they would say, "Wait a minute, you're the secretary and the counselor and the this." And I was like, "Yes." But I was so disorganized. My calendar was a mess, and, planner, all of that was just a mess because I had to be everything. And then my office was a mess. And so I kept praying. I was like, I need another secretary, somebody that's on my level, that knows what I'm looking for, knows how to do stuff. I don't have to try to pull away and do it myself. And so the one that I have now, she's phenomenal. When she came through the door, she was like, "I know how to do Microsoft. I know how to do, all these different programs." And I was like, thank goodness I don't have to try to do it myself, because you don't know how to do it. And so when she comes in, everything is the way that I want it. She came in, y'all, let me tell you, if I wish I had some before and after pictures. My office was terrible. And I kept saying, I need balance. And I knew that I needed balance. I just didn't know how to get it at that time. So when she started working for me, it was, I went ahead on and I was like, let me set boundaries, because I noticed that it was a day-to-day routine where she would talk about her home life, which, in the beginning I was like, let me just do this because I'm nice. And so I listened. And I think that's the part of the nurturing side of me. Sabrina, you've got that side too. And I'm sure you've got it too, Jessica. When she was talking about the pet thing or whatever, I've got a rescue dog here at my house right now, and so I work from home part time too. But then I work at my office on certain days, and so she would come in and she would talk about her dog. She would talk about her kids. She would talk about her husband, and I would kind of listen. And then one day I just said, you know what? Let me set the boundaries. And I felt like she wasn't understanding the boundaries because I had allowed her to do it for so long. And so now she understands, because she would call me and I would say nothing. Like if you call me at 6 o'clock at night or whatever, I don't answer my phone. So I had to put it on do not disturb. And so now she's finally gotten in the habit of, this is not when you call me because I'm doing home stuff. Call me before I reach my house. And so now she doesn't call me unless it's something related to work. So I had to set those boundaries, because, like what you said, Sabrina, people will treat you like how you want them. I mean, how you allow them to treat you. So you have to set the tone so that people will respect and treat you the way that you ask them to treat you. And so now that we've established work boundaries and home stuff, if it's not an emergency, then don't call me at 10 o'clock at night, because sometimes she would call me at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So I had to establish those boundaries and stop answering the phone every time it rang. um, and so now I'm in that harmonious side where I'm just like taking care of me. And at home, when this little face runs in, I'm like, don't you see my door closed? Because I'll take me time when I first get up in the mornings, and I'll meditate, pray, and just start my day. But then at the end of the day, once I get home, I'll relax for about 20, 30 minutes. And then I'll start dinner. And I won't let her run in my room when the door's closed. She will open the door and I'm like, no, didn't you see the door closed? Go. Give me my 30 minutes. And so now she doesn't do that. She knows to just be in her own little world until I'm done. So, you have to find that balance and set those boundaries so that you can maintain that self-care. And having a schedule, I have one on her bedroom door. So it's like, this is what you do when you get up in the mornings. This is what you do in the evening times before you go to bed. But I stuck in there from this time to this time, me time for me. So she knows, oh, I can't knock on the door. She's doing this. So she checks that little schedule on her door to make sure that she's in the right places that she needs to be in. So I know it's hard to find that balance and the schedule that you're looking for, Jessica, but maybe put out some things on the wall if you can and let them go by those things that you've got listed.
I like that idea. And that's something else I struggle with is feeling like selfish when I'm like, I need some time alone. But then it's like the guilt sinks in. It's like, well, they need me and they don't have no one else to help me. So
Been there.
and since they're 2 and 5, it's like I'm always like, what happens? What if when I'm going here and close the door, that's the one time they're gonna get hurt? It seems like I had just simply went out to change the cat litter when my son was in the bathtub, and I just put him in the bathtub, and he hopped out, busted his lip, busted his nose. I'm like, I can't even take the cat litter. Lord of mercy, can y'all behave? But no, it is hard.
Yeah, and in your case, they're a little bit younger. So the one I've got here, she just turned 10, so it's a little bit easier, to
That's I tell myself it's not going to be this hard forever, but it's hard to get a good schedule going and take some time for me. But then when I get so grumpy with them, I'm like, I know it's because I haven't filled my own cup up, and I'm just pouring from an empty one, and they deserve me to have some me time so that I am the best for them too. But
that's true. And and the thing that really was the wake up, I guess you could say the light bulb going off for me. We're now friends, but there's a counselor that called me one day, and I'll refer people to her, she'll refer people to me, and I didn't know that she was actually on the phone, but she called and she was just asking me a question, counselor to counselor type thing. And so when we get on the phone, I think she just kind of heard it, and I've known her for like 2-3 years now, but she said, can I say something to you? And I said, sure. She said, first of all, she said counselor to counselor. She said, and then parent to parent. And she says, you have got to stop jumping and running and, and carrying on for everybody in the world. She said, you're going to have to sit down and take care of you too. And after she said that to me, I've been doing it ever since.
Something Sabrina.
Yeah, I guess I just needed to hear it because I was just running and jumping and just, oh, I gotta go. And then when I get in my car, it's like boom, interstate. I'm on the interstate, and then I boom, go to the school, pick up, drop off over here at tutoring. I mean, it was just a constant 5 days a week, just my schedule was just, and I didn't have time to really breathe. And then when people would call me, I'm like, hello, this is Angela. Hey, and I'm just like, hey, and I just keep driving. I'm on the interstate. I'll be at the school to pick her up in 15 minutes. So go ahead. And then I would just just keep rolling with it. And then she says, you cannot keep doing that because you're depriving and neglecting yourself of the things that you need as well as others. And I wouldn't eat. I would just go throughout the day, and because I would just get up, make sure everything was taken care of with her, the dog, everything. And then I was like, okay, it's time to get you to school, leave from school, hit the interstate, go to the office, and just boom, boom, boom. My schedule just rolled all day. And then I would go, wow, I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't eat lunch. That might be the reason why I'm grumpy. And so now my secretary, when it gets to be 12 o'clock, she'll say, it's 12 o'clock. It's lunchtime. And I'm like, oh, you don't have to remind me. I automatically just know when I look at the clock, it's 10 minutes to 12. I'll say I got 10 minutes and I'm taking a lunch. So if anybody calls or if anybody shows up during that time, I flip my sign over on my door saying, close, we'll be back in 1 hour.
Mhm.
And I take that time for myself. I showed up the other day at the office and this lady was there. And I was like, excuse me, your appointment is not until 1:30. So she messaged me on the business page. I came to your office and the door was locked. Well, duh, because I'm on lunch. So I responded, I'm at lunch. We'll be there in 15 minutes. I'm not going to come earlier.
No,
I'm having me time.
right.
That's something I struggle with, is like, if feeling like, oh gosh, I need to hurry up, do this because someone needs it done, or I know I'm really bad about like, for instance, my husband, I've been a stay-at-home mom for almost 6 years until last year when I started, getting into real estate. And it's like, I felt this guilt of, because he works, I have to do literally everything here. And it's like, now I'm still doing literally everything here, I need to start kind of delegating a little bit, at least like take the trash out or
There you go. Hey, that's awesome.
that would probably help a lot, because I'm like, I am working now. So.
And I think I've always thought this because I've stayed at home. I've been a stay-at-home mom with each of my kids for a period of time throughout the marriage. And whenever my husband would come home, I would be ready. I may not have been on time for anything else throughout the day, but when he came home, and he comes home and he gets a shower, and after he got that shower, I didn't care if he was dried off, still sopping wet or not, I was gone. And if I did nothing but get in my car and go to the park and just sit, even if I didn't get out, I just needed to just get away. I would go to Walmart, walk around. I would purposely let that not be the time that I was doing grocery shopping, because that's just something else for me to be doing. I might be walking around just looking, dreaming about what color towels I'm going to buy next or what rug I'm going to buy. I mean, or something, but not physically shopping, because that's not taking time for yourself. Now the drive there might be taking time for yourself or back if that's what you wanted to do. But if you're actually I'm gonna go grocery shopping now, you're not taking time for yourself. So I did have to do that, because I felt like if I don't get out of this house, I'm gonna just start screaming and throwing stuff, like have a full-blown tantrum. And I think that's one reason why, like, even when I go to Walmart today, I'm always like meeting somebody or seeing somebody I know and talking to somebody, because that's what I would do, is walk around Walmart for about 2 hours, and he'd be looking crazy when I came home. And I'm like, you looking crazy for 2 hours? You've been gone for 9 hours, dude. You better be glad I came back. So yes, it's just necessary. The other thing that was always big when I was at home with the kids was to get outside. If it was a day where it was super cold or rainy and we couldn't go outside, oh my gosh, it was horrible, because I needed them to go. Even when we stayed in an apartment, we had the little courtyard part like right in the front. And I would just sit on the steps and just let them run around out there, throw the ball or something with them or whatever, and just get out of the house, just kind of run it. Cause I'm like, stop, sit, don't, no, get up. I have to do the same thing with my grandson. And I used to work strictly my real estate business and every other business I had. I used to work them strictly from a laptop. So I was always taking it with me, or whatever parts of the house I was in, I had the laptop. Well, my laptop, and Jessica knows this, I had a full-blown panic attack, y'all, because my laptop locked up on me. It literally locked up on me. I couldn't use it. I had to get the hard drive out and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, oh, but I have a desktop. So it used to be so painful for me to come into my office and just sit and work on my laptop, because I mean on my desktop, because I was so used to just taking my laptop all around the house, wherever. I had it in the bed, I had it in the living room, had it in the kitchen, wherever I was at, I had it. Well, it changed my business and it changed my life when I had to come to my office and sit and work on my desktop, and I couldn't use my laptop. And even though I have a laptop now, I'm not stuck to my laptop. I really don't use it that much, because I come do whatever I need to do at my desktop, and then when I'm out of here, I'm out of here. And if it's something else, if someone calls me or emails me or sends me something, I'm gonna get a notification on my phone. And if I have to come back into the office to handle it or do something, I just come on back in and do that, and then go right on back out. I don't like open up my laptop and get on there and start doing that. That's for when I'm not home. My laptops are when I'm not at home. They're in sync. And if I open it up and I'm, at Panera Bread or something, or I'm at a meeting or something like that, I open it up, it's in sync with my desktop, but I'm not stuck to it and can't move without it and on it 24/7, because I used to be like that. And I had stuff all over the house, like this file or that file or whatever I'm working on. I had it in the living room, or it's in the kitchen, and I waste coffee on it. And I mean, but that's not happening anymore. So that was something that happened last fall that was really a blessing. I was like panicking, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And the kind of laptop that I need, I can't go buy a Chromebook. I mean, for a few $100s. And I was just like, this is something I don't need to be dealing with right now. Got on my desktop. Life's been beautiful. I told Jessica, I said, oh, this has been wonderful. Because it's in my office where it should be. And so when I'm in my office, I'm working. When I'm not in my office, I'm probably not working. So that's been great. So that was something that happened last year, and it's been a blessing. Now I just have all my stuff in one spot.
That's
that
good.
helps.
And that's part of that balance, because I made it up in my mind. I used to roll my calls over from the office to my cell phone every day. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Whatever is going on with you guys, you can wait until I get back, in the office the next morning, leave a voicemail and I'll check it, or the secretary will, would check it, and, whoever needs to call you back will call you back. But I used to bring my notes and stuff home. I haven't done that in a long time, in years. So I was like, I'm not doing that anymore either. So weekends, working on Saturdays, and, and I'm like, no. So DHR, I do a lot of DHR contracts and stuff too. So they called me one day and said, hey, we got a case for you. Do you work on Saturdays? And I said, no, I don't. Well, I thought you used to work on Saturdays. And I said, I haven't worked on Saturdays in about 7 years. I said, so, nah, sorry, but, I'm not working on Saturdays. And I just stuck to that. And she was like, well, okay, well, let me call you back, see what I can come up with. And the lady that they wanted me to see, she works 5 days a week and she gets off at 5. So I'm gone. I'm at home. So we do Zoom. Her sessions are virtual. And so I'll see her virtually from 5 to 6. But then when she called me the other day, she said, I'm not trying to be ugly, but when I get home, I got kids to deal with. I don't want to be trying to sit up on no Zoom. But I had said this in the beginning, but I didn't want to say anything to her, but I said it to the social worker. And so we made a change in her schedule. So she will see me once a week, still virtually, but it'll be during her lunchtime from 12 to 1. That way when we leave our jobs, we don't have to fool with trying to get on no Zoom and talk to somebody from 5 to 6. Now sometimes I'll do staff meetings or whatever that will require me to be on a Zoom call, in the evening times. But other than that, once I'm done for the day at my office, I try not to do anything but just focus on home stuff.
You just helped me with something because I have one that I have been struggling with. And here lately, um, nobody's been able to make it. And it's a struggle for Jessica and I because it's after the hours that we want to be doing anything with too. And so I'm going to change that immediately. So I thank you. You have just helped me because
No.
I've been trying to figure that thing out. Because to be honest, totally honest, because I get up, I wake up so early in the morning, there's a certain point of the evening that I'm no longer productive. And I know it. I'm no good because I have checked out. Like I have mentally checked out and I can still help someone, but to be able to be just continue to shuffle papers and work and do this and do that. No, I will do it at 4:10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Mhm.
I will respond to all these emails and I'll send out all this stuff. And even I don't mess with Jessica when I'm up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. She's a lot of times up too, but we have a way that I can send her what I need to send her, or she can send me so that I don't wake her up or that I don't disturb her. And she's not ding, ding, ding. Sabrina's texting me, at 4:10 a.m. like a crazy person. No, because I don't want to do that. I want her to get it and get in the groove of whatever it is or the routine of whatever it is at her appropriate time of the day. Just because I'm putting everybody on notice, this is what I'm working on, or this is what I need, for the day at 4 a.m. I don't expect them to be up with me working on it then. So, yeah, that's a very good one. Thank you, because I've been wondering how I was going to handle that. I'm no good at 7 o'clock. I'm just no good. And if I'm going to help you, it needs to be during the time of the day that I'm productive. Um, so yeah. And even if I have to record it and just send it
Mhm.
out, that's it. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I love it.
Because, like you said, at a certain time of the day, your brain shuts down because once you usually leave your office, even if it's work from home, once you leave, you pretty much checked out because that's how I do. And I don't want to be sitting there at 5 o'clock or at 6 o'clock um, doing a meeting. So I usually do my staff meetings. If we can't do it in person, if everybody can't come in and we do it in person, because it's 3 of us so far in the office. I have a male counselor, and then there's me, and then I have the secretary. But I call her the administrator because she's more than just a secretary. She does a lot. She
Right.
designed our website and all of that stuff for the business. I had one, but she did a whole new revamped it, and I love it. I mean, she's got all these different skills and things that I really didn't have. So um, we'll do staff meetings, and if everybody's there on a Monday, we'll just go ahead and knock it out. But then sometimes she's not there. You know how stuff comes up, life comes
Mm-hmm.
up,
Mm-hmm.
kids are sick or whatever. Then we'll move it to a Friday.
Right.
And now I'm not there on Fridays because I'm in Talladega. I have to be in Talladega from 11 to 3, seeing, clients at the DHR building. So, I try to make sure that if I do it on a uh, weekend or something like that, she'll say, "Well, we got to do a Saturday. Let's knock this thing out. 9 o'clock in the morning, let's do it, and then we're done."
Mhm.
I'm not going to tie up everybody's day on a Saturday trying to do a staff meeting,
Right.
but we'll do a virtual
Right.
because I like to have my weekends free from having anything to do with work.
Mhm. I wish I were at that point, but I'm not. It's kind of hard not to do real estate, at least something with real estate on the weekend, because it's just kind of hard. So, but I do not work full days on Saturday and Sunday at all. I don't.
That's good.
And I
Now,
keep my grandson some during the week, 2 to 3 days.
okay.
So that means I do have to do some stuff on the weekend because I have him for about 8 to 10 hours during the week.
Okay.
And so in that case, that means I've got to make up that time somewhere. And so, yeah.
But still, even if on the weekends, if you got it where you got it balanced out, it's still not, you know, it's not bad. If you got a, like I said, you got a system and you got it where you got a balance on the weekend with your schedule, then that's a good thing to do. I'll do empowerment. You've probably seen, flyers or something where I do empowerment because I've always, now that I'm in ministry, I do women's empowerment because we have a lot of different things that we deal with as women. And so I'll do an empowerment, and that'll be one Saturday a month. But I just do it for 2 hours, 10 to 12, and then I let everybody go so that they'll still be able to do the things that they need to do on the weekends, and I don't tie up everybody's weekend.
Right.
So this Saturday, which is tomorrow, is going to be a virtual. And so, because I wasn't going to do one this month because it's Memorial Day weekend. And so they've all been, oh, we're not going to have empowerment. So they're having meltdowns. And so I said, I tell you what, I'm taking off the 27th. After I finish my day, I won't go back to the office until Wednesday of next week. So I said, just to make you ladies feel comfortable, we'll do a empowerment virtually. So they're excited about getting on tomorrow morning from 10 to 12. And it might not be the whole 2 hours since it's virtual, but I told them whenever we're done, if it's 11 o'clock, 11:30, then, everybody's free to log off and we'll go on about our Saturday.
So is that open to the public, or is that just like
It
a
is.
small group?
I will send you the Zoom thing because it's going to be through Zoom as well.
Okay. So
For some
tomorrow,
reason-
10 to 12.
Well, for some
Yeah.
reason, the Facebook Live, I don't know what it is, but Facebook Live, when I try to do it live, it just knocks me out. So I'm not going to even try to fool with that. We'll
Right.
just do it through Zoom.
Sounds like a plan. Well, Jessica, do you have any questions for Angela?
No, this has been very helpful. I really appreciate it.
This has been dynamic, talking about balance and boundaries and preventing burnout and finding and maintaining our effective, productive work-life balance. This has been wonderful. And I'm going to talk to you. This may be something that we may chime in on and do more periodically, because there are so many that struggle in this area, especially women. And we think that we're weak, or we're not good moms, or we're not, doing good with life or whatever, if we're asked for help, or if we say, this is what I need from you, like to our partners or our parents or even our kids. Say, listen, I need you to do this from this time to this until you hear my alarm go off, because I've got to take care of this. That helps me take care of you. And my kids always had some chores that they had to do and some things that they had to take care of, because we're in this together. It's not me, my house, is not my kids, is not just my responsibility. We're in this together. We're a team. And so This has been wonderful for me. I got so much out of it, lots of confirmation and some revelations about some things to handle my scheduling better. Jessica, block me off. I'm not block me off 6 o'clock. 6 p.m. on, block me off. And if they want to meet with me with a time like that, you tell them I'm up at 4 a.m. Come tell her, holler at me at 5:30 a.m. We can have our meeting then. How about that? Because that's what it feels like to me when I'm meeting at 7. And sometimes our meetings would go to like 8:30. A couple times we went to like 9. It's lots of questions and just going over a lot of material. And I'm just like, I can't do that. So I'd rather do 2 days during the week and break it up and do an hour each time or something like that. So nope, block me off, not happening. Love you too much to give you half of me. So because that's all I can do at that time of the day, because I'm shutting down. Like my body's seriously shutting down. My mind has shut down. And so yeah, no more. Thanks, Angie. I love it. All right. So send me that Zoom link and I'll be sure to share it because I'll be on there tomorrow. I need that.
Okay.
All right.
Well, look, I was talking about balance, so I'm going to eat me a quick burrito for breakfast, and then I'm going to jump in the car and head to Talladega.
Sounds good. Drive safe. And thank you
will.
so much.
You're
And
welcome.
we'll be talking, see how we can do this some more.
Okay. Well, y'all have a great day and a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye.